Hi, my name's Tracey and I'm the owner and designer of Burly Bambinos. The Burly Bambinos onesie was designed originally in Darwin in the Northern Territory in Australia. I have been working with Craig and Charlie at MMS Clothing now for over a year, and I am just doing a little video to explain how good working with MMS Clothing has been. Initially, the Burly Bambino was designed on my kitchen floor using a range of templates off the internet, and it was designed with the idea to cover my son from the sun and the midges when we went fishing when he was 6 weeks old. I shared my design with other mums out in the Darwin region, and the design actually ended up quite popular, and I ended up in 2 stores in Darwin. I was getting the product locally manufactured, which did definitely have its challenges. So initially the orders that I was having to make, my manufacturer said it was too small, so I was having to do extremely bulk orders to get my manufacturer to make the product, which was quite a big risk for such a small business in its early days. And then they were also not really interested in prioritising my work. So I was having orders come in and I was still not having a date to say when the product was going to be finished or when I could pick up the product. So it was really, really hard. Even at one stage, I was going into different manufacturers in the Darwin region and bribing them with fish and money to design my product ultimately. I was a mum, no, I am a mum, and I had a little baby at the time. And transporting my little baby around everywhere, begging people to make my product was really, really hard. So I ended up looking at different options for manufacturers, and that's when I did find MMS Clothing and the team at MMS Clothing. So I found Charlie and Craig, who have been absolutely fantastic to deal with. I'll start off with communication. So from the very start, communicating with Charlie and Craig has been really simple. They do use a range of apps. So they use WhatsApp for communication, they use email, and they also use the app Notion, which gives you a timeline of where your product is at in its manufacturing stages. So they've been absolutely great in creating this product with MMS Clothing. The communication via email has been my predominant method, and it's been absolutely brilliant. So I've given Charlie copies of prints and she's made them come to life on her computer, so I know exactly how they're going to look when my product is printed. I've also managed to have conversations with Craig over WhatsApp. So we've done telephone calls and emails and some text messages as well, just to make sure that we're on the same page about a few things. And it was absolutely brilliant and really easily available. They're also, despite the time difference, the communication is really prompt. I do find Charlie and Craig respond in a reasonable amount of time when you do have questions. So with the time difference, it'd probably be about 12 hours. So that is absolutely fantastic when you're trying to run a small business. With the design process, it was relatively easy. So I sent my template to Craig and his team, and I also sent a sample, and they sent me back a sample of what I wanted and brought my idea to life ultimately. I tested their sample through all sorts. I let my toddler crawl in it, eat in it. We dragged it through the chlorine pool, through saltwater pool, across concrete to make sure it would withhold what a toddler or a baby is going to do and what the onesie was designed for, and it did withstand that. And I'm very happy to say that that onesie is still in my son's cupboard now, and still can be used, which is absolutely fantastic. So after we got the sample, we decided that we would go ahead with an order, and we did our first order with MMS Clothing, which was brilliant. We sent them our prints that we wanted. Charlie communicated really well. The prints were printed and shown to me via email, so I knew how they were going to look when they were printed out. And I was updated the whole way through using that Notion app, knowing where and when and what they were up to with my design. So that was really exciting just to watch that from Australia, which was great too. Then it come to the time and my product was sent for shipping. So I was given a tracking number. I could watch my item be shipped from MMS Clothing to my doorstep. And when it arrived to my doorstep, it was ready to go. It was individually packaged. The quality was brilliant. And I knew exactly what I was sending out to my customers, which was very, very easy. It was fantastic. The quality has been second to none. So I do have a onesie here that you can see. So it does have a logo design on it. The print and the colours are vibrant. The material is stretchy and long lasting. The stitching is amazing. I have worked with Charlie and Craig to develop a tag, and each onesie has its own little message, which is really, really cute. And they're individually wrapped, as I said, so you know what you're sending out to your clients. Working with MMS Clothing has been a simple process. It was a very big process to get my head around when I initially decided that I was going to go to China to manufacture a product. There are lots of questions that I did have at the start, but working with Charlie and Craig at MMS Clothing, all my doubts all my doubts were, what can I say? They were eased, and the communication just really, really made me feel confident, and I was making the right investment for my product. So anyone thinking about using MMS Clothing, I would really, really recommend using them, because they have been absolutely brilliant to work with for my product and for my design. Even with this challenge of COVID, I felt it didn't really impact my business at all, because I did order stock and my stock was refilled with ease, even during the midst of a pandemic. So don't let that stop you either. Craig and Charlie are always there for questions, and if you have any, please make sure you do ask them, because they will give you a response and just relieve any of that doubt that you may be feeling. I'd like to thank you again for your time. I hope you do consider using MMS Clothing as your manufacturer. And again, if you have any questions, you can always contact me on Burly Bambinos. We have a Facebook and an Instagram account as well, so please check us out. Thank you very much.